Hey, it's me, Matarese, and welcome to the podcast. Today I'm speaking to comedian and author Patrick Tomlinson. So Patrick, how you doing?
I'm really well, yeah.
So I did some reading about you on the World Wide Web. Says here you're a failed comic.
That's just not true.
Would you say you're a funny guy? Cause, gotta be honest, that fat piece of shit routine died with Ralphie May.
I'd like to think so.
So, how long have you been doing stand-up?
I've got about 7 months now worth of experience.
7 months? Is that it? Took me 2 years just to get a tight 15. And that was touring nursing homes. Had to work blue, but the medicated shit went down a storm.
Yeah, I'm still fairly new in this.
Tell you what, I'm good friends with Anthony Cumia. Guy's a white separatist, but he knows comedy. If you want, I'll put in a good word.
Maybe.
So Patrick, you're here to promote your new book, Segregation Nation, Blacks Go Home.
Yeah.
I gotta be honest, I always thought you were one of those Starship jabronis writing about moon lasers and space dust. Why the sudden interest in race relations?
This is my area of expertise.
Do you not think it's a little extreme given the whole John Floyd situation?
I like it.
Well, it's just that your main character's an African pedophile who sells drugs to kids and chases white people like wild animals.
Yeah, that's what he does. Yeah.
And what's with chapter 17? 32 pages of FBI statistics. It's a little distracting.
Spoiler alert.
And in chapter 24, you've just printed the N-word 13,000 times. It was almost impressive.
It was a fairly lengthy process to get to that point.
You gotta admit, that's a lot of N-bombs.
But I didn't get crazy with it either.
So I heard this was based on a true story.
Up to a point.
So this African pedophile character, Lorante Rawlings, he was a real person.
Oh yeah.
It's just that in chapter 5, you describe how Lorante is, and I quote, consumed by a sub-Saharan rage driven by a genetic impulse to exploit the welfare system. Seems a little far-fetched to me.
The science was meant to be hard science.
Now, I ain't one of those college laboratorians, but from what I heard, blacks do 50% of the mathematics despite only making up 13% of the population. You ever see that movie, Hidden Figures?
Yeah.
Turns out blacks put the white man in space using Pythagoras. Now why would they make that shit up if it didn't happen?
Because that's the way they're trying to sell it.
Now back to Segregation Nation. I see you got 3 chapters dedicated to the mutated developments of the African cranium. Now call me a spaghetti brain jagaboon, but I always thought whites and blacks evolved at the same time.
They evolved later.
Well, I can see that, what with all the drawings you've done. So, in your own words, explain the message you're trying to put out there. Because between you and me, this is sounding a little fresh for my demographic. Capique?
It really deals with themes of, colonialism and the trials and tribulations of a new world.
Not sure I'm understanding what you're saying.
How new populations interact with one another, how to build a new settlement and a new civilization.
Seems to me it's just you railing on black guys.
Same thing.
And what's with the final chapter? 42 pages of Jared Taylor quotations. Guessing you're some sort of fan.
I loved his books.
And like that, it's over. You didn't even give Lorante a believable character arc. The guy spent 300 pages raping kids and killing white people. Where's the storyline?
It reached its destination.
So how long have you been working on this here publication?
It was 6.5 months to write a rough draft and another 2, maybe 3 months of rewrites.
I tried a little writing of my own last year. Put together an inspirational guide to making it in the comedy business. Publishers took one look at my IMDb page and said I was being unrealistic. Guess it's one of those who-you-know situations.
Who you know will certainly help.
That reminds me, I got one of those Yahoo mails from you inviting me to some sort of tiki torch rally. I got a little scared. The thing said I was being replaced, and trust me, in my line of business, I've heard that enough. So what is this thing?
It's just a big drunken binge fest for 4 days. It's amazing.
Well, it's just that last time you dragged me to something like this, you had me screaming blood and soil to a family of Hispanics. It just feels like any time I'm around your friends, it ends with somebody yelling the N-word and popping off Hitler hands.
But that's true of any human interaction.
I just didn't realize you were this radicalized. When did you get into this shit?
Back in 2013, I want to say.
And you're okay with wanting, and I quote, to banish these disease-ridden savages back to the Congo. I mean, it's the ramblings of a goddamn crackpot, and I should know. What must your friends think?
Doesn't matter how good of friends you are with anybody.
Well, I can't be seen hanging around with a fascist. Not with my reputation. Your hatred has no home here. Know what I'm saying?
Shut up.
Well, I guess that's the podcast.